Hello and welcome to World Talks, where every word matters. I'm your host, Sasha Farbach. Now, as NATO begins its Washington summit this week, there's much to celebrate on the alliance's 75th anniversary. But there are also concerns for the future. A war in Europe, a U.S. election, and unruly allies in Europe. Furthermore, the eastern flank of NATO has come front and center with aggressive Russia continuing its illegal war in Ukraine. Now, Romania is a key ally in the region and will house the largest NATO base in Europe. Now, to get the perspective from Bucharest and how these various issues are seen from the Black Sea, I'm joined by George Scutaru, Director General, New Strategy Center, Romania. Good to have you back on TVP World.
Hello, good to see you again.
Good to see you, George. So let's begin with the summit. I mean, from your point of view, from Romania's point of view, what are your greatest expectations from this NATO summit? Do you foresee more help in the Black Sea? What are your thoughts on the summit starting this Tuesday?
First of all, I think it is necessary to reassure the support for Ukraine. Yesterday was the latest massive attack made by Russians against Ukraine, and many cities were targeted by Russian missiles and Russian drones. And it's necessary to see that all NATO countries are doing more to protect Ukraine in terms of air defense. As you know, was a decision made by our National Security Council 10 days ago, and Romania will send the Patriot system to Ukraine to improve air defense capacity. And I hope to see other countries to act and to support Ukraine for more anti-missiles assets. On the other hand, unfortunately, I don't expect to see from the NATO summit a clear path for Ukraine to NATO. Mm-hmm. And it's necessary to understand, because Sunday we'll have another event. Immediately after NATO summit, we'll have a Republican convention, when most probably Donald Trump will be the candidate of Republican Party for U.S. presidency. And it's very important to see how the United States especially will continue to support Ukraine, and how the United States will be involved more in EU continent. The reluctance of Donald Trump regarding Article 5, regarding NATO, and not only for Poland and Romania, but I think for entire states of the eastern flank, the future attitude of the United States towards Ukraine and NATO, it's very important for our defense and for Europe's defense also.
Mm-hmm. I mean, we are hearing from various diplomatic sources that this invitation to Ukraine is not going to happen at this summit. I think even President Zelensky said himself this is not something that he is expecting. But it's about wording and certain documentation about this irreversible road into NATO. But that's already getting some pushback. Do you think we'll get anything more concrete, or is this going to be just another moment to smile for the cameras, or we're going to get something tangible out of this summit when we're going into Ukraine now?
I don't think it will be only political rhetoric without any concrete engagement from the US administration, first of all. I know that also Germany is reluctant to have clearer answers regarding the possible membership of Ukraine in NATO. Unfortunately, this summit will not produce something clear on this topic. What it's important to do, and as I mentioned, it's necessary to have more concrete engagement and statement dedicated to military support for Ukraine, especially in air defense.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, on air defense, and I think it's also worth noting, I mean, in terms of what Romania has done and is doing, as you mentioned, the Patriot battery that is being donated to Ukraine, that massive NATO base that's being built out in Romania as well. I think also connecting this to a potential Trump presidency again, I mean, Trump likes to see allies, let's say, lift their weight, if you will, be involved. There's a close relationship in the past with Poland. Is it perhaps too much to hope that potentially if Trump returns, that he will actually applaud the efforts by Romania and Poland and actually be more involved on the eastern flank, or are you more concerned rather than positive in that regard?
I think Poland and Romania are very committed to continue their efforts to deter Russia and to invest in defense. As you mentioned, we started very important investments with both Patriots, HIMARS system. The latest decision of Romanian Parliament was to dedicate it to F-35 project, and we invest $6.5 billion to buy 32 F-35. And also we invest a lot in host nation support capabilities. As you mentioned, Mihail Cogălnicianu Air Base, located on the Black Sea shore, will be one of the biggest air base in Europe in 8 years. This is investments around $2.5 billion assumed by Romania. On the other hand, I think it's important to see American commitment on our countries. You have American troops in Poland. In Romania also we have a few thousand Americans. And for us it's important to see that this commitment will continue. Because, of course, Europe now it's building up faster and faster ammunition capacity, capacity to produce more armament. But it's necessary more times to have this real capacity of Europe to defend itself. And we need Americans, because for us, for Poland, for Romania, the strategic partnership with the United States is crucial for our defense and for our existence, especially in this very challenging period when Russia is so aggressive. On the other hand, what is important is to see the attitude of the United States if President Trump will come back related to Ukrainian war. Just a ceasefire without any guarantees to Ukraine, without any securities, concrete security guarantees to Ukraine, will mean another Munich agreement, will mean another Budapest agreement, and President Putin will come back. This war will restart in 2-3 years. Even it will have a ceasefire, even will have a frozen conflict, because without concrete security guarantees, Putin will be encouraged to come back and to continue this aggression against Ukraine. And it's most probably that other countries will be next on his list, especially Republic of Moldova.
Yeah, speaking of other countries on Putin's list, and also another neighbor of Romania and Ukraine, that's Moldova. I just want to run a quick soundbite now of the foreign ministers of Moldova, Romania, and Ukraine who met recently. Let's just hear what they had to say. This is from the Romanian foreign minister now.
Today's meeting is yet another proof of our firm support for Ukraine, for its independence, sovereignty, and territorial integrity, in the context of the war of aggression waged by the Russian Federation. It is also an expression of Romania's commitment to strongly support, in those difficult circumstances, the difficult process of European integration of the Republic of Moldova and Ukraine.
Right, so there we have the foreign minister of Romania as well. As we mentioned, Moldova is valued here. It's also a hot spot. Now, although Moldova is on its path to European Union membership, with NATO, not so much. I mean, it has neutrality enshrined in its constitution. Do you see this changing, and how do you see Moldova play out in the alliance? Is there a path for Moldova there in the future?
I don't think the neutrality of Republic of Moldova is a real shield against Russia. And step by step, many people in the Republic of Moldova are seeing that only NATO represents a real instrument to deter Russia and to protect Republic of Moldova. On the other hand, we have in Moldova full-scale hybrid warfare. and a lot of narrative, a lot of disinformation campaign are focusing by Russia against NATO, against the United States, against Romania. And it's very difficult to convince people that NATO is the best options currently for Republic of Moldova. But I think that in few years, this majority attitude will be changed in favor of NATO membership. Currently, Moldova is committed to be an EU member. And you mentioned this latest meeting of Ministers of Foreign Affairs from Romania, Moldova, and Ukraine, but also with them were a Deputy Minister of Energy and Transportation, because for us to assure energy for Republic of Moldova is crucial for the next winter. And on the other hand, the connectivity with Republic, and to improve the connectivity with Republic of Moldova and Ukraine, it's very important also to support Ukraine to be better connected to EU and NATO, and on the other hand, to support Ukraine to have this connectivity, a better connectivity with Romania. We know very well that last year, for instance, Romania was the main gate for Ukrainians' export to the world, and in October, through Romania, Ukraine has exported 10 million tons of cereals to the world. And we invest a lot. We invest $400 million to improve this connectivity with Ukraine. And by the way, I mentioned this energy aspect. In the last 5 years, Romania has invested 400 million euro to improve for connectivity Moldova, to improve connectivity in interior of Republic of Moldova, and to be sure that in 2027, when we'll start to exploit our gas from the Black Sea, we'll have all pipelines, all infrastructure necessary to assure necessary gas to Moldova. Mm-hmm. And I hope, and this is his last idea, it's important to understand that if Ukraine will lose this war, next on the list will be Republic of Moldova. If you want to deter and to protect and to defend Moldova, the best way is to help and to support Ukraine. For Romania, the biggest nightmare in terms of security is to see Russian again on the Prut River, on Danube Mount. And it is very possible if we will not continue to support, to strong support Ukraine, as Poland is doing, as Romania is doing.
Indeed, and I think, as you said, energy security also really vital for Moldova and other countries in the east, also including the eastern flank. Now, you said that constitutional part of Moldova, that in its constitution is not a shield against Russia. Now, there is a security and defense pact signed with Moldova and the European Union back in May. Is that a kind of shield that will keep Moldova safe? What do you make of that in terms of the whole workings of the region?
Okay, it's better than nothing, and currently EU and some EU countries like France or Moldova are trying to improve self-defense capacity of the Republic of Moldova. But I remember that Sweden and Finland are EU countries, but they decide to be NATO members, considering that NATO is the best option to protect their countries. Mm-hmm. For me, only NATO could assure a real defense posture and a real deterrence posture against Russia.
All right, indeed. So there was that view from Bucharest and Romania, really important these days. Thank you so much, George Scutaru there. Thank you for your time. Appreciate it.
Thank you. All the best from Washington, because I'm here in Washington, and it was a real pleasure to meet you again.
Likewise. So we'll conclude there. That was World Talks, but stay tuned. There's much more coming up here on TVP World, so stay tuned.